Greetings to one and all watching this video. Mech Explanations welcomes you. Let us learn about a gyroscope. A gyroscope is a wheel mounted in 2 or 3 gimbals, which are pivoted supports that allow the rotation of the wheel about a single axis. A set of 3 gimbals, one mounted on the other with orthogonal pivot axes, may be used to allow a wheel mounted on the innermost gimbal to have an orientation remaining independent of the orientation, in space, of its support. In the case of a gyroscope with 2 gimbals, the outer gimbal, which is the gyroscope frame, is mounted so as to pivot about an axis in its own plane determined by the support. This outer gimbal possesses 1 degree of rotational freedom and its axis possesses none. The inner gimbal is mounted in the gyroscope frame, outer gimbal, so as to pivot about an axis in its own plane that is always perpendicular to the pivotal axis of the gyroscope frame, outer gimbal. This inner gimbal has 2 degrees of rotational freedom. The axle of the spinning wheel defines the spin axis. The rotor is constrained to spin about an axis, which is always perpendicular to the axis of the inner gimbal. So the rotor possesses 3 degrees of rotational freedom and its axis possesses 2. The wheel responds to a force applied to the input axis by a reaction force to the output axis. The behavior of a gyroscope can be most easily appreciated by consideration of the front wheel of a bicycle. If the wheel is leaned away from the vertical so that the top of the wheel moves to the left, the forward rim of the wheel also turns to the left. In other words, rotation on one axis of the turning wheel produces rotation of the third axis. Thank you and please give your support to this YouTube channel. Mech Explanations with your valuable subscribings.